Kimberly, thank you. All right, well, welcome everyone to the Rossier Student Organization Council, or RSOC, information session about our executive board positions, and just really in general about the Rossier Student Organization, which is your student organization if you're a current Rossier student. We really are inspired by the Rossier mission statement. When Kimberly and I were putting this presentation together, we thought it would be important just to share this statement. All of you have probably seen it during your admissions process. It's something that is talked about in that application process. And also as a current student, I've seen it in my syllabus every semester, every class. It's incorporated into the activities that we do and the assignments that we get in our program. So it's definitely something that resonates throughout the school and resonates with our group as well. So just wanted to offer that up as a place for reflection as we think about how we're all coming into this space, and as we think of what's to come in our year together as a student org. This statement is definitely something that we'll revisit from time to time. And now I'll hand it over to Kimberly to talk about what is RSOC.
All right. And, when people ask me that question, I usually just tell them, if you were in high school in the United States, you probably interacted with the Associated Student Body, so the ASB, in some capacity. So that's kind of what RSOC is. It's like the ASB of USC or Rossier. And specifically, so our RSOC stands for Rossier Student Organization Council. It was actually used to be called RSO, but that now stands for, I believe, Registered Student Organizations. And RSOC was actually formed in 1968, and it was created as this forum for students to exchange ideas with one another and just plan activities to enhance the community and just student life at Rossier. All Rossier graduate students are automatically affiliated with our organization, and they're encouraged to be active members. So, they're all encouraged to go to our events that we host, follow us on Instagram, even put them put RSOC in their LinkedIn, they are members of RSOC. And yeah, RSOC has actually been dormant for a few years during the pandemic, but now I think we revived it in 2021, something like that. And so yeah, it's been 2 academic school years. We're heading into the 3rd after being dormant for these past few years, and we're just really excited to change things within Rossier. So yeah.
All right, so a little bit about the structure, because there's quite a few student orgs within Rossier. And so the way that they frame it when we talk about it with the graduate student government, or GSG, is that the GSG is sort of the umbrella that goes over all graduate student organizations at the university. And then there's umbrella organizations that are within each school. And then within each school, there's also what they call sub-umbrella organizations, which would be the organizations like the PASA network or the School Counselors of Tomorrow, or any of the other organizations that are programs sometimes will have student orgs. So that's kind of how the structure works. And really, RSOC, I see us as not only the group that is distributing funds, which is how obviously a very important role that we play, but also the group that can partner and not necessarily have to, everybody doesn't have to have their own separate events all the time. There might be a great way for all of us to partner on an event that serves the entire Rossier community. So sort of that balance between empowering student orgs to do what they want to do to meet the needs of their particular student populations, and at the same time finding ways to collaborate and finding ways to make sure that we're also building Rossier community across programs. Anything else we want to say about that? Do you all have questions about the other programs or the other student orgs? Someday in the near future, we will hopefully have an updated list of what they are and who all the leadership is. We're working on putting that together right now. And then we also just recently have launched a new website. And so hopefully we'll also have a place on that website this year where we can promote and connect people to the student org within their particular program. And that's something we definitely want to encourage, the formation of those and really kind of the revival of some of them that have gone dormant. Thanks for dropping the link to the website. So these are the positions that are available and open to apply to right now. So obviously myself, the president, Kimberly, vice president, but everything else is open. So there's the link in the chat to more of the position descriptions, but I'm happy to take questions about particular positions, particular roles. I know some of you mentioned in your intros that you wanted to know more about the actual position. So we definitely can spend some time on that if you would like.
Is that pause for asking questions now?
Yeah, well, good point. We're recording this, so maybe I'll keep going and save questions for the end. We'll just kind of do this brief overview and then have time for Q&A at the end.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. All right, so as we look to, or sorry, Kimberly, it's your slide.
All good. All right, so let's just pretend that y'all are already part of the RSOC executive board. So what we would ask for all of you that are part of the executive board is to meet with us bi-weekly for our board meetings. This will happen through Zoom. And then also Tamara and I were kind of, we haven't really touched on the bi-weekly check-ins. This is something we might do, may or may not do, just I think this is something we need to talk about more, but if we do check-ins, it will be with either Tamara or myself. This is just a way for us to get any one-on-one attention that you may need concerning certain things that's on your plate. We also have training dates that are required. So GSG does require the organizations on campus to attend certain training dates. I think it's mainly for, I would say, the Greek orgs with hazing and such. But these are required for all active student organizations at USC. And another time commitment that we ask of you is to attend at least 2 events a semester. Tamara and I have lots of things that we want to do, but we are just trying to take one thing. What is it that you said, Tamara, about doing too much or too little again?
I just love Adrienne Marie Brown's phrase, small is all. Small is good, small is all. And sometimes just doing one thing instead of trying to do 3 things can be very rewarding in this moment. So we have a goal of having multiple events each semester, but really it depends on who's selected for these roles and who kind of has thoughts on events and programs. And we can talk about some of them that we've done in the past. Like, for example, last year we did Welcome Week programming where we would just have coffee and pastries in the student lounge, and everyone who walked in the student lounge that day was able to enjoy them. And we did them Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, I think from 4 to 5 p.m. or 3 to 5, where lots of people were coming through the student lounge right before their classes started. And then we also do larger events like the brunch, which is an annual tradition at Rossier and involves things like really delicious food and a photo booth and an award ceremony and really wonderful conversations with colleagues that you might not get to see very often. And then We also have professional development events. We did some diversity, equity, and inclusion events last year. So we have lots of options as to how we will engage, but we do want the executive board to be supportive of events, even if it's not an event that you're planning, let's say, it's an event that your colleague is planning. We want to create a culture of really having the exec board support any RSOC event. So we're thinking 2 events a semester sounds good, but we're happy to have those discussions with the whole exec board once they're situated. Any other things we want to say about that, Kimberly? Good.
I think you got it. Oh, and also
Alright.
I put in the chat, for those of you that don't know, we do have a student lounge. I didn't know until like towards the end of my first semester that we had a student lounge, and it's on the 5th floor and it's password protected for some reason. 2422.
And if you ever get there and you can't remember the password, just knock, because usually there's people inside and will come let you in. All right, so we do have Q&A. Do we want to keep recording, do you think, for Q&A, or how are we feeling?
I could stop recording, yeah, just in case anyone doesn't want their voice on the recording.